guys, it is Saturday now at JDM Fest. We actually just finished the Club Clash competition. Unfortunately, it did not really go as we wished. The plan was that it was going to be in the order. It was going to be myself, Grant, Luke, and Rome. And we went out for our first practice, and first of all, I got on the track too quickly. I didn't wait till like Rome was on the track, and like I just started drifting, and I just gapped like all the other guys. So we went a second time. I really tried to go slower and go wider. I don't know if my car's gripped up more. I was just going all out, and the other guys were just running more of like a bro line, as they told me, like, Kevin, you're running too fast. So yeah, so they said, you know what, Kev, go in the back. So we did a third practice run that I was chasing Rome, and he pulled a little gap on me, and I decided to cut the line to try and catch up, but like at the worst spot on the track. Like, and I cut too much, like a really bad judgment call on myself, and I plowed into Rome.
Man, I felt so horrible for doing that. And this is actually my first crash into somebody in my entire career. And I really look like a jackass. I want to explain what happened exactly. Now, keep in mind, the first two times we went out, I was leading and everybody was behind me. So, I can't see what's going on behind me. Now, if you look here, the green line is where we would initiate. And the next green line is where they would start judging us. Now, when I switched to the chase position, after initiating a little before or just at where they started judging, Rome pulled this huge gap on me, and I wasn't expecting that. And I really had to reel him in at this time. So I decided to, you know what, I'm going to cut the line right at the beginning so I could tuck back in there and then, be close to him for the rest of the run. But the thing is, other than Luke, who this was his second time at iCar, Rome and Grant, this is their first time. So they created their own line, which was, the proper line actually for driving a 4-car tandem. So I was in the wrong. But all the times that I drove this track and I chased somebody, the line that they would take would look roughly like the green line that you see here. Whereas now, this is, it's my first time chasing. They took this red line, whereas you see they swing from one end, like the left side of the track, all the way over to the right side of the track. And I was not expecting that at all. And it was like right at the moment where I was cutting the line to, re-get proximity. So that's why it looked horrible. It looked like I was driving into the side of Rome's car. But it's just, I really wasn't expecting them to go there. And I still feel so bad, but can't change anything now, unfortunately.
And yeah, so my car wasn't too bad. So just messed up the front fender and the door. And I think the steering rack moved because my steering wheel wasn't centered anymore. Like, I didn't have the same amount of rotations from one side to the other. So like we cheated it. We centered like the amount of rotations of the steering wheel, took the steering wheel off, put it back, and then aligned it with the toe plates. And so we went back out. Rome's car, well, now I won't show anymore because they fixed it, but Rome destroyed the front bumper, which we put back together. Yeah, it doesn't even show anymore, but yeah, there was an arm that was bent that he changed. So, but unfortunately, he didn't have enough time to fix it for the competition. So we just went out, Grant, Luke, and myself, and it was okay, but it wasn't the best. Like the other team that went against us, they run a lot together and they were super clean, super fluid and everything. And you know, Luke's amazing. So obviously Luke was on Grant and I was a bit wishy-washy behind. Feel bad, sort of like let the guys down, but whatever. I have to drive more. Luke said, Kevin, you need to drive more, which completely right. Seat time. So yeah, so when the competition ends, it goes back to open drift. So getting ready to take people for some ride-alongs and just have a good time. So Rome is going to take my car out for a spin, see how he likes a sweet S chassis. Have fun!
Check this out. Jaden thought it was me driving my car. It was Rome's first corner, and the steering wheel got jammed, and Rome was not expecting it. And oh my God, it came so close. I do not know how the cars didn't touch. There's not one scratch.
Is going to give us his opinion on the car.
So, car overall is really good.
Okay.
There's something definitely wrong with the steering.
Yeah, I know.
Because once you get past about 3/4 of the way, it's stuck and it does not come out. So you have to give it throttle to unload the front of the car to get the steering unlocked to go where you want to go.
Yeah.
So that's the only issue I ran into is like the car has great power, great throttle response, great like go.
Yeah.
And it's very quick. Like
and it's on shitty tires now.
It doesn't matter, it's very quick. Like when you get on it, it'll rip. But you have to run a weird shallow angle because once you start to add angle, it locks up. So we should probably do a shaky up front and check.
Since I put the LS, the steering has not been the same in this car.
Yeah, there's more weight over the front. So what spring rate are you running?
I know in the back I have 5K. In the front, I think it's like 8.
Yeah, you probably need to be 14.
Stiffer in the front.
Way stiffer because the LS is so much heavier than the weight's over the front end.
Okay.
So it loads the front, and the only way, like that's why it gets heavy. But when you go throttle and it goes back, then it frees up.
Yes.
You're
That's why
probably
sometimes you see my hands jerk.
Yeah, because you're like torpedoing the front of the car.
Yeah. Some good input. Definitely gonna take that.
That's it. Adjust that, it'll be good to go.
So Rome's been playing with the car and he realizes that the rack is over centering like way before we get to the max of the angle. So he decided to rip out some tools and play with it. So right now you're adjusting the lock stops to keep it from over centering.
Yep.
There's something wrong there. It shouldn't be out all the way like that.
Dude, it still doesn't even touch.
Yeah.
Like even right now, I can't move it. Like even by hand.
Yeah.
Like it gets stuck here.
You see it clung to the end.
Yeah, so right there.
So we went out for
amazing.
we went out for a ride in my car again, and Rome felt there was something wrong, and he figured out a couple of things that are pretty major.
We'll show you what actually happened, what's going on. So what's going on over here is that the steering rack is moving in the bushes, and when the rack moves, obviously everything else, the steering shaft and everything else moves with it. The problem is when he's going left, it's fine because it moves the rack towards the center of the motor, everything clears. When he throws angle to the right, it ends up, obviously it's loading the front tire, which is pushing the rack, because it's a rear rack, it's pushing it across the car. As it pushes it across the car, where the joint is, where it actually bolts in to the lower, like from the steering shaft into the rack, it has two bolts on it. The upper bolt is spinning, hitting the header and getting hooked underneath the header. And he's like, oh, but if I get on throttle, it goes away. And what happens is when it gets on throttle, the engine rocks just enough to clear the bolt, and then now he has steering again. So basically what's going on is the rack is moving and the bolt is getting stuck underneath the header and completely locking him up. So there's a crazy video, he'll probably put it in here. You're about to see it in a second. I almost died. But what happened was I threw it in, it locked, and I clutched in and not over rotate, and then I couldn't even steer out of it. So I just ended up going right back out into traffic, and Jaden almost basically just smoked the front of my car. So anyways, we're good to go. He's a good driver, he saved it, and the car will live another day. We'll fix it up, and then he'll be able to drift right and left next time.
Thank you very much, Rome. Well, I gotta say, what a hectic day or weekend. We're only Saturday, but we drove yesterday, so I think we're all exhausted. These guys are all loading up. I'm about to do the same because I'm dead, and as Rome said, I have a couple of things to figure out on this car, and I have to try and figure it out shortly because the MCC next weekend. So that means I have like 4 days to figure this out. So, hey, always got to work on the car. Big thanks to Johnny for helping out this weekend.
Oh yeah, what a great time.
Really,
What a great time.
means a lot.
Oh yeah, what a show.
Johnny used to work with me years ago at AutoWorks, now known as CarWorks. Great times, and he used to be on Team General Tire with Haig and Marco.
I'm retired now. I'm retired.
Retarded.
No, retired.
Amazing event. A big thanks to Jason Labrosse and Cédric Mallette for hosting such an awesome event, and giving me the tools to invite all these awesome drivers, and I'm really happy that they loved it. So hopefully next year we have even more guys and we can do some even more awesome driving. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe because it helps me out. And don't forget to subscribe to Danny's channel.
Kevin with his shout outs.
Thanks.
Please subscribe to this beautiful man. He makes all of this stuff happen.
Oh, and don't forget MDM Drift. And also a big thanks to my whole crew, so Jeffrey, Yan, my girlfriend, Jim, my father, Rome for helping me out on the car. That's what I love about drifting, is everybody's there to help. So once again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.